welcome back to my channel, unless of course you're new here, in which case, hi, hello. My name is Ashley and welcome to my random little corner of the internet. As you can tell from today's title, I'm going to be going over a TBR, but it's not necessarily like just my October TBR. I am participating in the Sherlockathon. I stumbled across this. I try to do readathons purely because it pushes me to actually read. It gives me, so if like, mainly like it puts me in competition with myself. If I know that, hey, I need to do this by this time, it's gonna make me read. And it's not like it doesn't make it seem like a job or anything like that, but like I do enjoy reading. There's just other times that I'm like, I have other things I need to be doing, but I want to sit and read. And if I do a readathon, then I include like that is, it makes it to where I'm like, no, I have to read now. Giving myself that, hey, you get to go read because you need to. So, I found the Pageathon, which this season is literally just, there really is no prompts. There's a couple of extra ones where it's like, if it has to fit in these little 5 categories, you get a couple extra points. But basically, it's just read as many pages as you can. And through that, I found another girl who was talking about a Sherlockathon. And I'm like, that piqued my interest because I love Sherlock Holmes. And so that's the TBR that I'm going to be going over today. We do have a list of prompts. I believe there are 11, as well as the group book. However, instead of it just being the month of October, it is starting October 19th and going until November 15th. So when I put this out, there's still time because it should go up on the, I don't know, it's going out before the 19th though. So whatever day this is. Hi. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get into it. Alright, and then this first prompt. Okay, so there's a Discord for the entire readathon, and each prompt has like its own little channel inside the Discord so that you can be like, hey, this is the book that I'm reading for this prompt. And this first one kind of, I don't know, like I couldn't find one, and then when I said something about reading this book in another one, they're like, you know that fits in that other prompt, right? And I just felt really dumb. So the very first prompt is the retelling, but it's kind of a twist on a retelling, which is what a retelling is, but it's a retelling by an own voices author, which means that the author has to be writing about a character that is like them. Like, you know, I have Mirror Mirror and I have Wicked, which are both retellings, but they're about women. Like the main character is a woman and they're written by Gregory Maguire, who is definitely not a woman. And then I have a few others, but they just don't fit. But then I found this one and I was going to read it for another prompt. And like I said, they were like, you do realize that fits in that first one? My reading Cinderella is dead. It is a loose retelling of Cinderella, not exactly what we're used to as a Cinderella story, but it is a retelling of Cinderella. It's how it was marketed. I haven't read it at all yet. I'm really excited to. But Kaylin Bayron, yeah, is a woman of color, as is our beautiful our main character, whose name is Sophia. So that works out for that one. So I'm excited for that one. The next book is called The Stout, which is a book with more than 500 pages. I'm going to be reading Serpent Dove. I'm super excited to read this one as well. I'm super excited to read all of these, and I love when books that I've really been wanting to read fit into the prompts that I need. Yeah, but this book is, at least my copy, is 519 pages. So that definitely fits inside the prompt. I am super excited. Okay, sorry. Minus the acknowledgements. It's 513 pages, but still. I'm excited. Everyone seems to love it, so I'm excited because then after I read this one, then I can read Blood and Honey, which I need to get my hands on. The next one is called The Capable Inspector Gregson, which is a book you hope to learn something from. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be a textbook or anything like that. I mean, it could be, but it was basically anything like mainly nonfiction. A lot of people are like, well, if we go toward nonfiction, but there are some, you know, historical fictions that would fit into this title, things like that. Just something you want to learn about, or, you know, even learn about yourself. I am going to go with Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. I bought this and I need to read it. I need to read it. It's going to help so much just with my mindset. I need to get back to where before all of this Corona stuff started messing with everybody and just putting everybody in a giant hole in the ground, basically. So, Girl Wash Your Face fits for the capable. The next book is The Woman by Irene Adler. Not by Irene Adler. The Woman, Irene Adler. That's the name of the prompt. Which is a book written by a woman, which is pretty basic. I have many of those. However, I am wrapping up listening to The Wicked King by Holly Black. So I'm just going to be listening to The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I don't have, I'll insert a picture right here, because it's going to be an audiobook. I do try to listen to at least one audiobook because it helps. Like, I can read them or listen to them on the way to work and when I'm driving in general, as well as when I'm doing chores. That way I'm actually reading still. It's just I can do other things. The next book is the next prompt is The Scot by I'm gonna keep saying that. The Scot, Mrs. Hudson. And the prompt is a book by Scottish author or set in Scotland. And what better book to read in a Sherlockathon than a Sherlock book? So I've got The Return of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who is Scottish. So there we go. Still, it's another one of those older books that I grabbed from my grandmother's house. It is a Reader's Digest version, and the cool thing about it is that they include like these little excerpts, but then they also, it like talks about the author and then his inspiration for the characters. So I thought that was really cool. Then the next one is The Plagiarist, Inspector Lestrade. I don't know. I'm very confused by why he's called The Plagiarist. But whatever. The prompt is ghostwritten or pen name. So, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, I was actually surprised when my husband, whose favorite series is this series, did not know that Cassandra Clare is actually a pen name. And so for this, I'm going to finally be reading City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. But yes, Cassandra Clare is a pen name. I can't remember her real name, but yes. So, City of Fallen Angels. I'm finally going to try to finish this series. Then the next one is The Nemesis, Professor James Moriarty. It just says a book with enemies. So I feel like that's a lot of books. But, to just follow along with City of Fallen Angels, I'm going to be reading City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. The books are, the covers are so shiny, so it, just catches the light. But, yeah. So, they killed Valentine. So, right there, in the first sentence, they're fighting the demon Lilith. I feel like the story kind of derails. No offense to Cassandra Clare. The books are amazing. But when I finished the third book, it was very well wrapped up. I don't know where the story is going to go in the fourth, fifth, and sixth book. But I am going to read them, and then I'm going to move on to the Infernal Devices, because I am really excited to get into, old Victorian England. That sounds like a lot of fun. Then the next one is The Narrator, Dr. John Watson. A book with a narrator, and then we all discussed it in the Discord, that also basically could mean if it's written in first person. That first person is recounting the events. So basically they're the narrator. And I'm going to be reading The Library of Fates by Aditi Korana. It is written in first person. It's basically real life meets fantasy. Things are happening, and then there's this lost library, and there's a princess who sacrifices, offers herself to be married to this really not nice guy so that she could save her kingdom. And then there's this lost library, and I don't know, it sounds really good. Fun fact, bought this at the Dollar Tree for $1 because the cover is just so beautiful. That's what attracted me. But then I read the summary, and it sounds like an awesome book. So I'm excited to get to this, just because you never know what you can find at the Dollar Tree. Never skip. I feel like I say that in so many of these videos, but don't skip the book section in the Dollar Tree. I promise you. Okay, the next one is the consulting detective Sherlock Holmes. I mean, because you can't have a book or a Sherlockathon without using a prompt of detective. But it basically just says a book with a detective. I'm going to be reading Enola Holmes and the case of the missing Marquess. We did, as a family, just watch the Netflix movie with Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill and Sam Claflin and Helena Bonham Carter, and it was so cute. Like, it was adorable. It was really good. I really hope that they continue, because according to this, there's six books in the series. Sorry, they're at the back. So, I do hope that they continue making the movies. I mean, it might have been expensive to make with people like Henry Cavill in it, but he seems to be right on it. It is a middle grade book, so it's probably going to be a really quick read. But, yeah, so consulting detective, Miss Enola Holmes. The next book, and the last one that I have here, is the sedentary Mycroft, which we know is Sherlock Holmes' big brother, and he just spends a lot of time in the gentleman's room at the Diogenes Club. So, basically the prompt is just read this book in one room. It could be any book that you want to read. You just, whatever room you start reading it in, that's the only room you're allowed to read it in. So if I start reading it here in the office, that's the only place I'm allowed to read it. If I read it in my bedroom, that's the only place I can read it. But I am finally, it's happening. It's happening. I'm going to read The Infinite Noise. I have put this as part of my TBR so many times, and then it gets pushed to last, and it doesn't get read. And it's making me very sad because I want to read it, especially because Lauren Shippen just announced that she's coming out with another one. It's not a sequel per se, but it is another Bright Sessions novel, and I want to get that one too, but I need to read this one. So, I mean, yeah. Alrighty guys, that wraps it up for this video and this long-winded TBR. I'm going to include any of the links that I can for this particular readathon down in the description below, as well as the links to any of the books that I've mentioned, so that if my really bad summaries don't really give you what you need to know and you want to look them up, then you can. I'm going to put that down there in the description bar below. And that's going to be it. So, if you liked this video, don't forget to hit the big thumbs up, as well as the big red subscribe button and the notification bell, so that you're always notified every time that I upload. And until next time, bye!